series where we bring you insights and extraordinary leaders shaping the future of governance and business. Mentor My Board is a vibrant community dedicated to empowering board members, founders, and governance professionals with knowledge, mentorship, and tools to lead with impact. Through our Spotlight series, we bring real stories and strategic insights from experienced leader to inspire and elevate board excellence across India and beyond. Today, we are thrilled to spotlight Mona Shah, a powerhouse in finance and leadership, a seasoned professional with over 25 years of rich cross industry experience, including transformative roles at global giants like Deloitte and Societe Generale. From leading strategic financial transformations to stepping into the challenging shoes of an interim CEO, our guest has turned obstacles into stepping stone. She's not just a financial expert, she is a trailblazer, a tech savvy strategist, and a champion for operational excellence and sustainable growth. Whether you are a board member, founder, or aspiring CFO, you don't want to miss this conversation. So let's dive into it. So, Monaji, with over 25 years in finance and leadership roles across industry, how would you say is the most transformative financial strategy you have implemented and why?
So, first of all, good evening and thank you for having me. I'm really excited to share the insight here and learn from this community. Over 25 years of experience, there has been a lot of transformations which are done, which I'm being part of. But if I have to mention few, one is definitely when I started my role as a CFO, and as CFO, there's a lot of focus overall what best you can bring to an organization. We really worked under my leadership, we actually mutualized the entire finance function between the bank and the group entities because I was the CFO of India. Um, this helps not only to save and optimize the cost, but I would say it also brought in a lot of operational efficiency within the team. This also helped us to align the India entity to the global organization structure which the management was looking at, and also bring in agility in the finance team. This supports even contingency planning. So when the people move from organization to organization, there is always an contingency and a gap created in the team. But by this mutualization, we always had support over and above from some of the other entities. So that model really worked, and it really support the organization drastically. So this was the one. Second, I would say, was automation of the MIS reporting, which is again a very important tool for the management and all the business stakeholders to get an accurate and timely data to really get an make uniform decisions on time. So that are the two major initiatives I would say.
Oh, that's brilliant example of forward-thinking leadership. I mean, the clarity with which you have identified the opportunity and acted on it really shows the impact of financial strategy beyond just the numbers. So, very few women take up the role of CFOs, and even fewer step into the shoes of an interim CEO. Could you just share how you turn the challenges of these high stakes roles into opportunities for growth and impact, like both for yourself and organization you lead?
So actually, I still remember the day when I was the CFO of the broking entity, and this interim CEO role was offered to me. Globally, there was a project run by the group to really consolidate various businesses in each country, and India was one. And we all are aware when there is consolidation happening, either side have to really move, and our CEO suddenly decided to move ahead and take up any different responsibility. We had the management team actually coming down from Hong Kong, and suddenly we were called in a boardroom, and they really told me to take up this interim responsibility. For a moment, I was really blank, but after a time I accepted it and took up this challenge because I understand that leadership is just not about knowing everything. It's the way how you really do things and how you process it. So I was really focused. Initially I faced a lot of challenges internally also because people don't accept you immediately in that role and the position. But I was really focused. I worked with a lot of clarity. My goal was very clear, to have a very effective communication between the stakeholders, management, business heads, and the regional management. Work with collaboration and along with the team, not work in silos. Get clarity on each and every stuff. And my experience in finance really helped me to take uniform decisions at the time when they were required. So for me, this 6 month really shape up my leadership skills, which helped me to move much broader layer within the group. And then I got a India CFO position, so that really increased my visibility. For the organization, I could say it really got a new leadership style, which works with a balance of empathy and accountability. It also proved, actually, that finance people just not lead the numbers, but they can also lead the strategy of an organization.
I
So
mean,
that's what I
yeah,
would
I mean
say.
that's such a powerful example of stepping up when it matters most, and I'm sure many here will find strength in your story. And your experience spans MNCs like Deloitte and Societe General. What key lessons from these global organizations have you found most valuable when advising Indian MSMEs or startups today?
So, overall, working with such global reputed organization has really taught me uh, the importance and the value, what the overall systems, the control, the overall processes, and the governance framework really bring to an organization when it really wants to scale up to such a big extent, and it can't scale up without a proper structure in place. So I would say my advice to MSMEs and the growing organization would to adopt an early financial discipline, basically also to identify clearly their performance metrics, do scenario planning, budgeting quite ahead. These are very key important things for an organization to scale up after a point in time. So my experience can really help the founders to bridge this gap, and I can introduce this global practices within the small businesses to the extent it's practical, and also helps them to scale the business.
Okay, I mean that's amazing, like how you are bringing global thinking into local context, and that bridge between MNC region and startup agility is where so much innovations happens. So I can truly understand that. And what are the key metrics or signals you use to assess the financial health of a business during your virtual CFO engagements?
So I recently started with my virtual CFO role with CFO Centre, and it's my passion to really work and contribute to the growing sector of the economy of our country. So I would say whenever I plan to really assess an organization and support the founder, would create key performance parameters. One definitely goes without saying is cash flow sustainability. It's not about only availability of the cash flow, but also predicting the cash flows properly to manage the business operations. Second is working capital management. It's very necessary to really manage our working capital well. So managing the inventory, receivables, payables of an organization is another important area. Key matrices which be profitability and also the burn rate which an organization is running at, which becomes very important for the new business which are just scaling up to an extent. And overall, I would say bring in financial control and governance framework. So to have a proper budgeting policies, processes in place, and a good MIS report, which will help me to give them a regular insight for them to take really uniform decisions.
I mean, that's a fantastic point. I mean, you have simplified, something that often feels complex. Okay, so I mean, could you just share an example of how you have helped a business strengthen its internal controls or reporting infrastructure?
So, as I mentioned earlier, like within the organization, we had really worked very hard to create various MIS dashboards. So, there are certain MIS which is required by the management on the daily basis. Say, if I have to just take an example of a bank, their liquidity ratios, their credit ratios are very, very important, and they are very critical capital adequacy ratios. So, we had generated an MIS report which used to circulate to all the management level and heads of the business on a daily basis. There were certain performance KPI, operational KPI dashboards which were created, which were circulated on a monthly basis. This really not only helped the finance team also to really reduce the time on the closing of the accounts, but it also helped the management to get accurate and timely information and not really call upon finance department to send this, send that. And they started really looking at the finance functions not reactive, but more as in strategic advisors to the management or the business head. So I would say a robust MI system within the organization which gives timely and accurate information and controls around that supports not only the management but also all the major stakeholders, including the finance team, to really work and do things in a proper fashion.
I mean, thank you for breaking that down so clearly. Strong financial infrastructure is often the unsung hero behind business success, and your approach really underscores that. And as someone deeply involved in fundraising and exit planning, what common mistakes do businesses makes in preparing for these events, and how can boards better support them?
So this is just my initial observation because I've started working with founders, but I always feel that the founders or the MSMEs, their focus is more on the growth, and they normally tend to approach the investors for fundraising or exit scenario, considering a one-time scenario rather than a long-term strategy. And at times it fails because they are not ready with that set of data stories, or I would say that data story doesn't align with their vision, mission, and hence, many times the things really fall down. So it's very important to have a proper business model, align your vision with the financial, and have a proper data story. It's not only about the valuation, but it also impacts the credibility and preparedness of an organization once you go to the outside world to really ask for something. So here I feel the board can really play a very important role because they can ensure that there are timely audits, clean audits. They can review the business model, have an quarterly checks, and also involve the right kind of advisors or CFOs in the timely manner to really do a structuring around the capital management, a tax efficient model which can be compliant also and help the organization to sustain. So I think both can play a very important role. They can also ensure that the financial models are aligned with the founder's strategy and the vision, which will help them to really get the things which they are required.
That's absolutely, I mean, correct. Whatever the information you have shared, I mean, it's very thoughtful. I mean, so I mean, there's one last question. Like, how has your association with Mentor My Board influenced your perspective on governance and leadership? And what value do you think communities like this bring to finance professionals and board leaders?
So I would say my journey with Mentor My Board has been very enriching. It really enforces the need of continuous learning and peer exchanges. Today, being a certified independent director, I really don't see governance framework as just a compliance tool, but also sees it's important for an enabler for a sustainable business. And Mentor My Board really provides a very good platform to really exchange uh, boardroom realities. It also helps learning from the cross sectors leaders, and the platform is also so strong that it becomes a support system for all the financial professionals to interact and navigate in such a complex business environment. uh, in short, I can just say that they are really helping to nurture ethical and effective leaderships.
Thank you so much. We are so glad to hear that, and that exactly what Mentor My Board aims to do. To create a space where leaders and board professionals can grow, learn, and uplift each other. So, Monaji, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you for letting us spotlight your journey. Wishing you a continued success and impact.
Thank you so much. Thank you for so much giving this opportunity, and I'm eager to really collaborate with more business and boards to get the impact.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's nice
much.
talking to you.
Same here.